Welcome to MysteryVerse. Relax, listen carefully, and enjoy this beautiful English story. What if one selfish decision could make spring disappear forever? A lonely giant builds a giant wall to keep children away from his beautiful garden. The next morning, something impossible happens. The flowers stop blooming. The birds become silent. Even the sun seems to forget the garden. Is it magic? Or is it the power of kindness? Today's story is The Selfish Giant, inspired by the famous tale by Oscar Wilde. Asuliste English, useful vocabulary and an unforgettable lesson about friendship and sharing. Let's begin! Chapter 1, A Garden Full of Happiness 1:15 to 3 o'clock. Long ago, there lived a giant with a wonderful garden. The grass was soft and green. Bright flowers covered the ground like a colorful blanket. Around the garden stood 12 peach trees. In spring, they bloomed with beautiful pink and white flowers. Birds sang cheerful songs from every branch. Every afternoon, after school, children entered the garden. They laughed together, climbed trees, chased butterflies, and rested beneath the cool shade. There, happy voices filled the air. To the children, this wasn't just a garden. It was their favorite place in the world. But the giant wasn't home. He had traveled far away and stayed with a friend for 7 long years. During that time, the children carefully enjoyed the garden without hurting anything. Everything was peaceful. Until one unexpected day. Chapter 2, The Wall of Selfishness, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. As he walked toward his house, he heard laughter. Curious, he opened the gate and saw children playing happily on his grass. Instead of smiling, the giant became furious. "This is my garden. Écoutez. Leave immediately." The frightened children ran away. The garden suddenly became silent. The next morning, the giant built a huge stone wall around the entire garden. Then he placed a large sign on the gate. "No entry. Trespassers are forbidden." The giant smiled proudly. "Now I can enjoy my garden alone," he thought. But outside the wall, the children felt heartbroken. They tried playing on the dusty road, but there were no flowers, no birds, and no soft grass. Something precious had been lost. Chapter 3, The Mystery of Endless Winter. Soon, winter arrived. Snow covered the houses and streets. But after winter ended, something strange happened. Spring came to every garden, except Donné. Inside the giant's garden, snow still covered the ground. The trees remained bare. Cold wind blew day and night, and the birds never returned. Summer arrived everywhere else. Golden sunshine warmed the countryside. Yet the giant's garden stayed frozen. Autumn filled nearby orchards with sweet fruit. But the giant's trees produced nothing. The giant looked through his window every day. Why doesn't spring come? Et whispered. He never realized the truth. The garden wasn't waiting for sunshine. It was waiting for children. Chapter 4, The Return of Spring. One beautiful morning, the giant woke up to a sweet melody. A little bird was singing. He hurried to the window and couldn't believe his eyes. The children had discovered a tiny hole in the wall and climbed back into the garden. Every tree held a smiling child. Where children played, flowers bloomed instantly. Birds danced through the branches, and warm sunlight filled the air. But one corner remained cold. A small little boy stood beneath a frozen tree. He wanted to climb it, but the branches were too high. Tears rolled down his face. The giant's heart suddenly changed. For the first time, he understood his mistake. He quietly walked outside. The other children became frightened and ran away, but the little boy stayed. Gently, the giant lifted him into the tree. At once, snow melted. Green leaves appeared. Beautiful flowers opened. The little boy smiled, wrapped his arms around the giant's neck, and gave him a warm kiss. That single moment melted more than ice. It melted the giant's heart. The giant grabbed a large hammer and broke down the wall forever. "This garden belongs to all of us," he said, and spring returned for good. Ending and life lesson. Years later, the giant became old, but he was never lonely again. Every afternoon, children filled his garden with laughter. He discovered a simple truth. Real happiness grows when we share it. The tallest walls are not made of stone. They are built inside our hearts. When kindness breaks those walls, love, friendship, and hope begin to bloom. Thank you for listening to MysteryVerse. Word of the day: selfish, thinking only about yourself and not wanting to share. See you in the next mystery story.